State's commitment to positioning Lagos as premier digital hub in Africa. Federal government postpones launch of student loan indefinitely. On the foreign scene, European Union laments use of starvation as weapon amid Israel-Gaza war. In sports, Nigeria, Uganda battle for cricket bronze at African Games. Now, the details. I am Taiwo Baruwa. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says his government is committed to positioning Lagos as a premier digital hub in Africa. Governor Sanwo-Olu spoke at the groundbreaking ceremony of an extra by Airtel data center at the Eco-Atlantic Victoria Island, Lagos. He said the event is not merely the construction of a facility, but the dawn of a new era in data control, security, and preservation throughout Africa. Governor Sanwo-Olu said the data center, anticipated to commence operations by the third quarter of 2025, will not only symbolize Nigeria's progress, but also serve as a crucial pillar in realizing digital aspirations. Speaking earlier, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, said the President Bola Tinubu administration is committed to using technology to deepen productivity in key sectors. Tijani, who noted that the data center is important for the future, said the federal government will continue to support the tech industry. Major stakeholders in the Lagos State transportation sector are set to hold a parley on how to address gridlock around event centers, clubs, and other places of large gatherings in the state. Director, Public Affairs and Enlightenment Department of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, Adebayo Taufik, in a statement said the parley would deliberate on transportation safety at event centers, clubs, and other places of public gatherings in the state. He said the parley was jointly organized by LASMA and the Lagos State Safety Commission. The statement quoted the special advisor to the governor on transportation, Shola Giwa, as lamenting that traffic management, especially during events, had become worrisome to major stakeholders, especially the state government. The General Manager, Lagos State Office for Disability Affairs, Lasoda, Adenike Oyetunde Lawal, has called on everyone to join hands with the government to ensure the rights of PWDs are adequately protected in Lagos State. She made the call at a meeting with the Spinal Cord Injury Association of Nigeria, SCAN Lagos State Chapter, led by its chairman Abdul Wahab Matepo. Oyetunde Lawal said that there is a need for a change in approach to the realization of the government objectives geared towards enforcing an inclusive society where everyone, regardless of disability status, would strive. She said the agency will continue to develop policies and programs tailored precisely for every member of the disability community, just as she appealed to both corporate and private organizations to ensure there is humanity to the disability intervention in their organizations. Lasoda, on behalf of the state government, presented wheelchairs to the association for the use of its members. The National Automotive Design and Development Council, NADDC, has announced plans to validate its national occupational standards for the conversion and maintenance of electric vehicles and compressed natural gas vehicles. Director General of NADDC, Joseph Oshanikmi, stated this in Nasarawa during the validation workshop exercise for the draft of the national standards for auto gas vehicles. Oshanikmi stated that the primary objective of the workshop was to develop a blueprint for skills development and standardized operational procedures in the conversion, calibration, and maintenance of those new automotive energy sources, aligning with the government's renewed hope agenda Oshanikwe noted that upon approval of the draft by the National Assembly, it would facilitate job creation and reduce greenhouse gas emissions, as ongoing plans include the establishment of more CNG gas stations in Abuja. The Nigerian Army has uncovered an illegal gun factory in Onitsha Olona community in Aniocha North local government area of Delta State. Speaking at the illegal arms factory site, Commander of the 63 Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Ugochukwu Onachukwu, said the prime suspect, 22-year-old Emmanuel Eboka, admitted to having rented some of the arms to a criminal element for set fees. Onachukwu said 8 suspects involved in the family business, including the mastermind of the operation, has a father, mother, and sister who were among those arrested at the factory. The Army commander said the activities of the suspects were a major contributor to insecurity in the region, and that anybody that is involved in an act of insurgency that is against the peace and stability of Nigeria will be apprehended. Now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has postponed the launch of the Nigerian Student Loan Scheme indefinitely. Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, Akintunde Sawyer, who made this known, said the loan scheme was postponed due to corrections that were being made around the launch. It will be recalled that in June 2023, President Bola Tinubu signed a bill to start a student loan fund that would give interest-free loans to Nigerians for higher education. A former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, proposed the bill, and it was supposed to start between September and October 2023. Wife of the President, Oluremi Tinubu, has reiterated that no girl deserves to be left behind in getting educated as a result of mistakes or errors of their past, but should rather be given the opportunity to realize their dreams in life. Mrs. Tinubu, who was speaking at the inauguration of the newly built alternative high school for girls in Bauchi State, noted that she envisioned the school type while she was the first lady of Lagos State, which culminated in the establishment of such in the state. She was of the opinion that though girls may drop out of school due to early marriage, pregnancy, lack of financial support, trafficking, among others, the alternative high school for girls is a means for them to right the wrongs in their lives. In his remarks at the event, the Bauchi State Governor, Bala Muhammad, announced that the first set of enrollees would be given full scholarships. Mrs. Tinubu also performed the empowerment ceremony of 600 vulnerable persons in Bauchi State, comprising orphans, widows, and persons with disabilities on behalf of the state government. Doctors under the auspices of the National Association of Public Health Physicians of Nigeria have lamented the high cost of drugs in the country. The association said the high prices of drugs would compound the woes of Nigerians, particularly those suffering from one ailment or the other, as many of them could not afford the prices. President of the association, Alfonso Isara, stated this at the 40th annual general meeting and scientific conference in Akure, the Ondo state capital. The conference was tagged Repositioning Public Health and a New Political Dispensation. According to Isara, the health sector in the country is facing a series of challenges as a result of socio-economic crisis in the country, hence the need for stakeholders to tackle the problem. In foreign news, the European Union's foreign policy chief, Joseph Borrell, has claimed that starvation is being used as a weapon of war in Gaza. Borrell described the lack of aid entry the territory as a man-made disaster. While addressing the UN Security Council in New York on Tuesday, Borrell said the humanitarian crisis in the territory was as a result of lack of viable land routes. A Spanish ship carrying desperately needed food supplies has left Cyprus for Gaza, but the UN says This cannot replace the delivery of aid by land. Meanwhile, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to press on with an offensive in southern Gaza. In sport now, Nigeria will go head-to-head against 18th ranked Uganda in the third place match of the women's cricket event at the ongoing African Games in Ghana, as the event's debut reaches an exciting climax at the Achimota Cricket Oval in Accra. The female Yellow Greens lost by 5 wickets against Zimbabwe in the semi-finals, while Uganda lost by 50 runs against South Africa to set up the clash. Nigeria and Uganda met recently at the T20 World Cup qualifiers last December, with Uganda winning by 6 wickets. That's it on the news at 10, but just before we go, maintain adequate distance from the vehicle ahead of you to avoid collision. You can follow us and like all of various social media platforms: X, formerly Twitter, Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Watch us live on Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On YouTube, subscribe and watch all the previous programs and news on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration initiated 500 hectares of rice farm technology intervention projects? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has restated that his government is committed to positioning Lagos as a premier digital hub in Africa. The federal government has postponed the launch of the Nigerian student loan scheme indefinitely. We also told you that the European Union's foreign policy chief, Joseph Borrell, has claimed that starvation is being used as a weapon of war in Gaza. In sports, Nigeria will go head-to-head against 18th ranked Uganda in the third place match of the women's cricket event at the ongoing African Games in Ghana. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to Lagos Traffic Radio at lagosstate.gov.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Abiola Fagbolabu. I am Taiwo Baruwa. Thank you for listening.